There are many different types of motorcycle helmets on the market, and they all have differences. The main differences between a cheaper helmet and a more expensive helmet are the ones we're going to be looking at today. Let's take a look. The outer shell is the first part of the helmet that's going to hit the ground in case of an accident, so it's very important that the shell is rock hard. Cheaper helmets are made of cheaper materials such as polycarbonate, which is basically a posh word for plastic. We did our own little test and chucked 2 helmets on the floor for 2 reasons. The main reason being to show the difference in how the helmets absorb the blow. The other reason is for our own entertainment. The fiberglass shell hits the ground and stays down, absorbing most of the impact. The polycarbonate shell bounces back into the air, showing that it's more flexible and thus absorbs less of the blow. Our evil colleague didn't have to saw some old helmets in half, but as it's all for scientific purposes, we kind of encouraged her to rip them apart. The thickness of the inner shell is dependent on the materials used for the outer shell. A polycarbonate helmet requires a thicker layer of EPS than a carbon outer shell. Cheaper helmets usually have a fairly simple EPS inner shell. EPS stands for expanded polystyrene. Such a shell will typically only have one density. Premium helmets have shells featuring more than one density, usually 2 or more. A dual density shell helps to break down the energy of the impact before it gets to your skull. Some premium helmets even have multiple inner shells, such as the Bell Pro Star. A mould is made for each helmet. From this mould they make thousands of helmet shells. A cheaper helmet will typically come in no more than 2 outer shell sizes, in some cases not even more than 1. A more expensive helmet will generally come in 3 to 6 different outer shell sizes. Imagine that you need size extra small and the helmet is only produced in 2 shell sizes. Then the extra small helmet will be the same shell size as the large. Producing multiple shell sizes is important and useful for different reasons, such as keeping the weight down and creating smaller helmets. Cheaper helmets often feature a ratchet system made of plastic. It's not usually permitted to take your plastic ratchet helmet on the track. They typically require the classic double D chin strap for track riding. The double D chin strap consists of a strong strap and 2 metal rings. Even to this day, the double D system is regarded as the strongest and safest retention system. After all, a plastic ratchet is exposed to general wear and tear, which could weaken it, and if it's exposed to great force, it could even snap. What we're seeing a lot these days as an alternative is the stainless steel ratchet, an accessible and strong retention system. Premium brands such as Shoei and Arai have been working for years to create the ideal fit. They keep adding slight nuances to the new models as they are designed. That's why they often feel very comfortable for a large group of people. Cheaper helmets are often largely redesigned per model. This results in a more extreme adjustment to the helmet's fit, which leads to a hit and miss effect. The materials and fabrics used in cheaper helmets also generally feel less pleasant and soft to the face and head. As an example, the Shoei Neotech 2 will almost perfectly fit 9 out of 10 people. If you're one of the unlucky ones, then we do have a solution. We can customize the center pad of the helmet with the Shoei personal fitting system. All information on the Shoei personal fitting system can be found on our website www.fortomoto.com. By the way, did you know that you can subscribe to us on YouTube and never miss any of our uploads? It's completely free and it promises to be a lot of fun. Being able to optimally ventilate your helmet is very important, especially if you have an intensive riding style or if you ride in a very hot climate. But being able to properly shut off all the ventilation openings is just as important on cold and wet days. Premium helmets often have many different ventilation openings, generally on the chin, brow, top and rear of the helmet. Cheaper helmets will typically have a ventilation grille which cannot be closed, or closable inlets which are not completely airtight, leaving room for whistling and annoying wind noise. Modular helmets have a movable chin bar, but that doesn't mean you can simply flip up the chin bar and go for a ride. It's actually only legal to ride with the chin bar up if the helmet has been certified according to certain safety requirements. If the ticket on your chin strap states the PJ certification, then you're good to go. If this certification is missing, then you're not allowed to ride with your chin bar open, and we strongly advise you not to do so. Not many premium helmets have this certification, but you will find even less in lower price ranges. It is important that your helmet sits stably on your head while riding. If air is directed past the helmet shell in the wrong way, it can result in your helmet lifting or blowing your head around left, right and centre. This negative effect is largely avoided with more expensive helmets by testing the shells in a wind tunnel. This is only theoretically tested with cheaper helmets, but not actually practically tested. The more stable the helmet, the less fatigue for your ears and neck muscles. The thickness and strength of an expensive helmet's outer visor are often held to a high standard, especially when it comes to sports helmets. The mechanism that holds the visor is mounted to the helmet shell, often with metal screws. Cheaper helmets have thinner and more flexible visors. These visors are more prone to breaking during an impact. The mechanism is generally weaker, and that means that the visor will blow shut or even break off more easily. Premium visors are often larger than on cheaper helmets. This improves your viewing angle and eliminates the need to turn your head excessively while riding. If a pinlock anti-fog lens is included, then it will generally be of higher quality when choosing a premium helmet over a cheap helmet. A cheap helmet will offer the most basic pinlock, or even no preparation at all. Premium helmets are often equipped with a max vision pinlock. Wind noise is one of the top irritations when it comes to bikers. Sadly, you can't really ride a bike without taking a bit of noise. You can, however, experience a quieter ride by investing in a helmet that fits well and sits snugly around your neck. It's also important that the helmet has the correct streamlining. The more nooks and crannies, the more the wind will slip inside the helmet. Premium helmets feature high quality materials in the helmet's lining. This helps isolate the helmet against noise from outside, thus offering you a quieter trip. Cheaper helmets are often less aerodynamic than premium helmets, and this alone creates more noise. A motorcycle helmet has one main goal: protecting your head in the event of a crash. So it shouldn't be a shock to any of us that the manufacturer invests most of the money in safety. Extras such as a sun visor or a peak will be of decent quality, but not the highest quality when it comes to a cheaper helmet. The overall build quality of a premium helmet will pretty much always be better than a helmet in a mid or low price range. A 300 quid full face helmet will never be as solid or as comfortable as a 600 quid Arai helmet. This has to do with the quality and finish of the materials used during the production of the helmet. Certain luxuries will be absent too on cheaper models, such as a decent preparation for a communication unit and a fully removable interior. Thanks so much for watching our video. We hope that you found it informative and that you maybe even learned something today. Now, if you would like to do us a favour, that would be excellent. There's a subscribe button under the video, and if you click that, you will do us a massive favour, and it will also bring a tear of joy to my eye. So that would be greatly appreciated. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments section below and we'll answer them there. And otherwise, we'll see you in one of our stores or at fortomoto.com. Thank you. See you next time.